This tutorial will go over Sharepoint, which is the school's server for online storage, sharing of files, and for assignment submission. Students can turn in assignments through Sharepoint. If you do not have the icon on your desktop that looks like this, then you need to restart your computer so that it appears on your desktop. Once you have done that, I'll kind of walk you through the point of Sharepoint and the functions of Sharepoint. Sharepoint is only accessible at the school, therefore you'll not be able to access saved work on the server from your home networks or any outside networks. In order to access Sharepoint, you will have to be on the school's network. Why would Sharepoint be important? Well, because in 21st century classrooms, you're going to need to have files saved multiple places to ensure that they remain saved and you don't lose them. It's a secure way to back up your files because the school servers are backed up every night. So in the event that your battery dies or that you forget your computer at home, or in the event that your computer crashes for some reason, it's a good idea to have things saved in more than one place so that you can still retrieve those items. So you can kind of think of the server and your computer as your backpack and your locker. The hard drive is going to store lots of different things that you create and that you would like to save and not lose. So utilize both Sharepoint and your computer's hard drive for saving different files. To access Sharepoint, you'll want to get to the desktop, and once you're on the desktop, again, it looks like this right here, and double click on it and you'll see that different people have different permissions throughout the school. As a teacher, I will have different permissions than a student would, and vice versa. So I'll start with the students and the uses for students when it comes to the server. Students will want to use one of two files or folders. And the first folder that you'll be able to use is the schools folder, and the other one we'll talk about in a second is the students folder. In terms of the schools folder, once you click there, high school students will be dealing with one of two folders there as well, and that would be the Franklin Tech, called F-Tech on here, and the JHS or Joplin High School folder. And that will depend on which class you are in at the time. Once you are in the JHS folder, let's say, you'll see that there are a list of teachers, and depending on which class you're in and where you want to save things, you would select a particular teacher. Each teacher will have a Dropbox, and the Dropbox is a folder that is only viewable by the teacher. So you can turn in your assignments there, and only the teacher will be able to look at those from that particular folder, as long as you drop it into that folder. If it's on the outside of the folder, anybody can view it and pull it up, as long as they make a copy of it when they open it. That's pretty important, to make a copy of it if you want to share a document or a file with other people. And so in terms of group work or cooperative learning, students will be able to share each other's work by posting it on the server, and that would also allow someone who's absent to be able to post things there for their group members to use as well. The other function of Sharepoint for students is the students folder. And this particular folder is really just designed for online storage. It's a place to back up your files. So as you work, if you go into your students file, you will be able to see your name listed under whatever grade you're in. So let's say you're a junior, then you would select 11. And once you are in there, you're logged in, and you'll be able to see your names listed there, and you would then select your name to put files in. That's important for storing files not only on your computer, but on SharePoint, so that you have a copy of it somewhere else, and therefore if your computer loses power or crashes or something of that nature, you would have the files still saved on the server, and you could get to those with any computer. Now for teachers, the really important thing, you also have two different folders that you would want to access, and the same thing is true that I just walked through with students. You would want to post different things perhaps on the schools, JHS, or Franklin Tech folder, and that would be things you want to give to your students. It is extremely important, again, to open those up, students, and make a copy of them so that you can actually view them. The first person who opens it is the only one who really is given permission to open it, and then it's just a matter of making copies of it. So it should prompt you to do that whenever you try and open the file. The other thing, though, teachers, is that you would want to utilize your teachers folder, because that is where you can back up your files just like the students are able to on the students folder. Students will not have access to this folder. It's really just a storage or backup place for you to put different files. And once you're in there, it's the same thing as the students. You will find your name and place your files there according to what you want to save on the server.